My name's Adam Ridman, and I'll be showing you guys how to build a cheap and inexpensive end table today. When cutting out the crossboards or legs, this is what we'll be using today. It's a miter saw. It's very important to keep your fingers out of the way of the blade. All right guys, first thing we're gonna need to do is cut out our legs. We're gonna need 4 of them, 22 inches long. Always remember, safety first though. Next guys, we gotta cut out our crossboards. These are gonna be 4 of them, 19 inches long. The next step here guys is gonna be to rip our boards in half. I'm gonna be using a table saw here to do this. You could actually skip this step if you start off with 2x2s, but all I had was 2x4s available for me. I'm gonna be using a push stick to get the boards through here today to make sure my hands keep a safe distance away from the blade. Next, I gotta make my tabletop. It's gonna be 23 inches by 14.5 inches. If you're like me and don't have a board wide enough to do that, you're gonna have to cut 2 boards and join them together for it. Once you have everything cut out, you should have your tabletop, which is going to be 23 by 14.5 inches, 4 22-inch legs, 4 19-inch cross members, and 4 10-inch cross members. Our first step putting the table together is we're going to lay out the frame for it. We're going to do that by taking our legs and setting them up like this. Our table here that I'm working on right now is nice and flat, so we're going to use that kind of as our base so we know that everything is flush and level. Also right now, because we're using stock 2x4s, our corners are rounded, and so we're going to actually use that to our advantage and put those on the bottom side so that way they create a nicer look, and they also won't create like a gap at all when we're putting on the tabletop. Now that we have our frame set up how we want it, we're just going to go ahead and screw it together. Now that we have the frame completely assembled, all the last thing to do is put the tabletop on there, and that should hopefully be relatively simple. Just gonna use a few screws to attach it to the bottom. Just gotta be careful with this part, otherwise your screws, don't wanna put your screws in too far, otherwise they will go through your tabletop. To review our process, we cut all 4 legs to 22 inches. We cut all 4 crossboards to 19 inches. Then we cut our shorter crossboards to 10 inches. Next, we ripped our crossboards and legs in half. Our 5th step was to cut our tabletop, which was 23 by 14.5. Our 6th step was to assemble the frame. Our 7th step was to assemble the top. And that's it, just nice, simple, easy end table that you guys can just build at home yourselves.